Good morning, Wake and Takers. What is going on, everybody? It is Thursday, December 4th, kickoff of week 14. This is do or die for a ton of teams out there. It's like make or break. This is the last week of the regular season. Like if you're making your push, you've been making the push for the playoffs. It's time to just make that final push to get up over that hill and make it into the playoffs, because once you get there, it's just 3 weeks of making it happen. You never know what could happen. Guys come out of nowhere. Your team that's been injured, you get some guys back, and all you got to do is string together 3 weeks if you make it. If you already made it and you're just kind of jockeying for position right now, you get to breathe a little bit easier than the rest of the people out there. But you never know. You never know. So always good to just be putting your best foot forward, especially in fantasy. And like I said on Tuesday, go play spoiler. Don't just give up if you're done, if you're out, if you're not going to make the playoffs and you're eliminated. Go play spoiler. Don't do scummy stuff. Don't try to stick with or try to prop up another team that is like your buddy or something. Don't do that. Go play spoiler. Go keep the integrity of the league at its highest, because that's when leagues are the most fun. When everyone's doing trying to make the league the best that it is, and there's no shadiness or anything like that. That's when leagues are the most fun. So go have fun. Go listen to the show, plug in your best players, go try to knock off someone that is making that final fight, or someone who's trying to fight for a bye week. Go ruin their day. Go ruin their week. That's what it's all about. It's all about ruining your friend's time. But we got a lot to cover today. As always, it is the Thursday Start Sit show. So if you do have any questions, please feel free, as always, drop them in the chat. Love answering the questions as we go. And tonight we got a Thursday night football game. We got the Detroit Lions, who are also fighting for their life in the NFL playoff race, hoping to go get a win today against Dallas. It's in Detroit. And let's go ahead and the news is kind of wrapped in with a lot of this Dallas-Detroit breakdown. So we might as well just kind of put these hands together and just go right into it. The biggest bit of news, of course, coming out of last week, Thanksgiving game, Amon-Ra St. Brown left with an ankle injury in the first quarter, did not come back, was deemed week to week, which typically means they're missing that next week, no matter what. But this time around, St. Brown has not practiced, but he is being listed as questionable in a true game time decision. I got a fear that they're just going to shoot his ankle up with a bunch of whatever, the painkillers, whatever they got to do to get him out there. Because the Lions playoffs hopes are hanging by a thread right now. I think they saw that their percentage to get in is down to 40%. And that's with a lot of help. That's with a lot of winning and a lot of help. And it all starts tonight. So we could definitely see Amon-Ra St. Brown out there. I am not expecting it. I am expecting him to miss this game. But like I said, stranger things have happened. And Amon-Ra is the type of guy that he's not going to let it stop him. He's not going to sit if he has the ability to go out and play. Of course, fear for the long term. So for you Amon-Ra St. Brown dynasty managers, cover your eyes the entire time. But I think no matter what, in that case, I'm starting Jameson Williams no matter what. I don't care if Amon-Ra's out there. I don't care if Amon-Ra is benched. Jameson Williams is a must play, a top 10 wide receiver this week, with or without Amon-Ra St. Brown. Calling that right now. In terms of the secondary options, I did kind of like Isaac Tesla, who was out there for, once again, 92% of the snaps last week, 90+% of the routes last week, with Amon-Ra missing the whole time. So if Amon-Ra does miss, I think Tesla is a very high ceiling, sneaky flex play. Not really sneaky, it's plastered everywhere, but I do think he is a very good high ceiling flex play if Amon-Ra St. Brown does miss tonight. If Amon-Ra plays, no Tesla. Just simple as that. Starting with the really in-depth, it's a passion project, the Detroit Lions, they're the passion project for me here. But yeah, obviously outside of that, the Detroit side's very simple here. You start your Gibbs, you start your Waymo. If Amon-Ra plays, you play Amon-Ra, you start Goff, because Dallas is just hemorrhaging points to the quarterback position, rushing or not rushing. Quarterbacks are tearing them up. And then you're not even looking at the defense this week. And then on the Dallas side, very simple as well. You start Dak, you start Javonte, you start CD, you start Pickens, and you start Jake Ferguson. Yeah, there we go. This game's pretty done. This game is very simple and straightforward in terms of fantasy football. The only little tweak and wrench in the plan is if Amon-Ra plays or misses bases, if you can play Isaac Tesla or not. That's it. Other than that, you start your studs in this one because the ancillary pieces just don't matter. The defenses don't matter. And this should be absolute fireworks, cinema, beautiful football today in Detroit for Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a fun one. I don't like. There's nothing like that. Like Detroit's had some slobber knocker type defensive games like against Philadelphia, but that was kind of brought on by Philadelphia's defense. Detroit's defense is good at times and then exploitable at other times. So it's just like one of these things where I don't think it's going to matter because Dallas is the shootout catalyst and Detroit has shootout capability on a weekly basis, both on the offensive and defensive side. So I think no matter what, we're getting the over. We're getting a lot of points for fantasy teams, and it's going to be a fun one to kick off the week. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the rest of the news here that we have. We got some big names on the list. We got some guys that are still missing and some guys that have just popped up on the list. So let's go ahead and get going on that. I do have a Kyren Williams update. He was limited in practice on Wednesday, which is good because we've seen a lot of guys missing out there. And you know what? I'll get to Kyren in a second. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm just going into the flow state here. But good morning, Alex. How are you doing? How you doing? Welcome back in. Good to see you. How's the puppy doing? Hope everything went smoothly with that, and you can avoided some pee or poop in the car. And I see you got Tesla in your slot this week. I think it's good. I think it's a good call. I think it's risky if Amon-Ra plays, but I still think he can deliver just because Dallas. He's a big play guy. He's a touchdown guy, and it's Dallas. And it might be a necessity at this point. So I dig it. But bouncing back over to Kyren Williams, like I said, was limited on Wednesday. But I still think that my thinking that I had was kind of confirmed here with the team themselves coming out and saying they kind of want to start to limit the touches of Kyren a little bit here where they can so that he can be ready for the postseason, especially with this injury popping up, especially with some of the big hits that he took on Sunday. We could see a lot more Blake Corum, and he's probably going to show up a little bit later in the show. And he's someone that I'm really looking into, and I think that he's going to be a very good option to even be like a RB2 flex play in on teams where you're hurting at running back. There's a ton of teams that are hurting at running back. It's been ugly at the running back position once again this year. So a guy like Blake Corum who could start to ramp up here just in time is interesting. Obviously, keep an eye on this week. I'm still like I would still toss Corum out there this week based on the matchup, but I really want to see how the snaps opportunities go and if they're actually speaking the truth over there in LA about trying to maintain and manage Kyren Williams and his ankle injury. So we will see on Sunday how that goes with Blake Corum and Kyren Williams. But for now, Kyren is looking to on track to play on Sunday with the ankle injury. He is just limited. So keep an eye on that in case anything does pop up further and he misses a Thursday or Friday. Red flag goes up, Corum flag goes up even higher. Sticking with that game, though, Marvin Harrison Jr. is feeling okay from what we have heard. He did miss the Wednesday practice, so still something to keep an eye on. And I'm not even really keeping an eye because I want to start Marvin Harrison. I don't like the matchup. It's more I'm keeping an eye if I want to start Michael Wilson, because we've seen Michael Wilson without Marvin Harrison Jr. put up 18 targets, 17 targets, just stupid numbers in targets. That those types of targets can counteract a bad matchup like going up against the Rams. So if Marvin Harrison starts, I'm not really looking to start him. I'm not looking to start Wilson. I'm not looking to start Dortch. The only person that I would really be looking to start would be Trey McBride. And Dortch is actually even missing with a chest injury. So there's a whole lot of uncertainty here in the Arizona passing game that we're just not sure what we're going to get on Sunday. But we'll keep an eye on the practice reports for Dortch and Harrison Jr. A couple more missing guys on Wednesday. Alvin Kamara is still missing from practice, so it looks like we are getting another Devin Neal week. Honestly, we might see Alvin Kamara just get fully shut down for the season if he's not able to get back near 100% for the end of the year. He's got the extension. This team isn't doing anything other than trying to just get some reps for Tyler Shuck. And it'd be honestly beneficiary for them to get more reps for Devin Neal too, to see what they have uh, as a depth piece here, because we know that Kamara is the going to be the focal point of the backfield. We know that Kendre Miller had a good stretch here, and if Devin Neal can be good depth, New Orleans might not have to touch running back for the next 2 years in the draft to go and just keep that youngish core plus Alvin Kamara together, and then just reload whenever Kamara moves on from his contract or retires. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I think that Devin Neal is another guy where if Kamara does end up missing, I think he's a good solid floor based volume start in an okay matchup. It's not the best matchup. It's not the worst matchup. Another update on a injury we talked about on Tuesday was Justin Herbert. He's missing practice, but he is still preparing as if he's going to play on Monday Night Football. That's the tough part in all this, is it's the Monday Night Football game. And on the other side is Jalen Hurts. And the odds of you having Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert are not very high unless you drafted Hurts first, and in which case you're not even worried about starting Justin Herbert in this game. So really, I'm looking to pivot off of Justin Herbert this week. The matchup is tough. The hand is a big concern because right now it's not even about the injury. It's the non-throwing hand. It's more about the swelling in his hand at this point. He's got plates in his hand, so there could be just some long-term swelling going on. Really what I'm looking out for Herbert for is to feel more comfortable about the pass catchers, to feel more comfortable about QJ, Gadsden, McConkey. If it's Trey Lance out there, the only one that I'm starting is going to be Ladd McConkey, and I am not feeling good about that at all. I wouldn't be starting QJ. I would be hard-pressed to start Gadsden and just would hope for a touchdown from him. Oops, sorry, 1 second here. 1 second here. Apologies. It is that Thursday morning bark session from Finn down here. Trying to get him in the camera once again, but he avoids it. He avoids it. But yes, so final note on Justin Herbert. Keeping an eye on him once again to feel comfortable with the pass catchers. But really, I'm not excited about any of the Chargers pass catchers this week. I'm hoping no one needs to lean on them to get into the playoffs because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough. Banged up offensive line, banged up quarterback, and a defense that has been playing very, very well and is working with the chip on their shoulder because of the fact that they've lost so many games because of the offense. So definitely concerned about the Chargers here as a whole. A couple more guys to get through here on the injury notes. Aaron Rodgers missed a Wednesday practice with his left wrist again. He had missed the previous week with that broken left wrist. Came back last week and then left for a little bit of time with a nose injury. So Rodgers is kind of getting bruised and battered, and honestly, just Pittsburgh's fallen apart in general. But it does seem like I would expect Rodgers to be good to go. He played with the wrist injury last week, so this just feels, unless it's got re-aggravated to a degree that was not disclosed, I think we see Rodgers out there. Drake London is missing still from practice with the PCL injury. I highly doubt he comes back this week. I highly doubt. I don't expect him to come back anytime for fantasy relevance at all. I think if he comes back, it's going to be your championship week. And are you trusting a Kirk Cousins led Atlanta Falcons offense with your Drake London championship push? I don't know about that. So we'll see here. A couple other wide receivers. Chris Olave popped up on the injury report. He did suffer an injury in the Sunday game with a back injury. So keep an eye on that. He missed Wednesday's practice. Got to keep an eye on the Thursday and Friday, Saturday practices, just because those back injuries do come on pretty quick. Like, they can go from not seeming that bad to, once the adrenaline and everything wears off, it becomes something that makes a guy miss. So that's concerning there. So keep an eye. But if Olave's playing, you play him, just because he is the entire offense right now, and the matchup is pretty good. Josh Downs is missing from practice with a hip injury, and I think that this could buoy Michael Pittman, who was suffering in targets last week. And we'll talk about the Indianapolis wide receivers a little bit more later, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But other than that, keep an eye on Josh Downs and his hip injury. And the last injury that I got here is going to be Trey Benson is still missing, and It's concerning because the IR window was open for him. He's got 3 weeks to return, and that window is about to close if he does not make it back. And he has not practiced this week at all. So very concerned. Very much seems like the practice window is going to, or the IR window will be closing shut on Trey Benson, and he will be stuck on IR for the remainder of the season, unless they just do a surprise activation, which I don't see it happening. So Trey Benson, everyone that held on and everyone that tried to scoop and get ready for the playoffs with him, it seems like we are not going to get that. Hopefully you have Michael Carter, Bam Knight, whoever is going to be the lead back out of these two Jag fourth string type guys, just because volume. This offense is still working well, but I do not trust either of those guys, Bam or Michael Carter, against LA this week. So that's more looking to weeks 15, 16, 17 for a Bam Michael Carter, not week 14. I'm not really looking to start either of them unless you are absolutely desperate and just need a volume play, in which case, Bam Knight. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Lizard King, good morning. Good morning. T. Higgins versus the Bills or Devonta Smith versus the Chargers. This is tough because I gotta go T. Higgins. I love that offense right now. I think that the Bills, while they are a good defense, I think that it is more of a shootout prone game. We could see the Philadelphia game get dragged down into the mud very easily, with the Philadelphia defense just crushing them. So right now I'm gonna stick with T. Higgins. But I like both these guys right now. I just think that T has the higher ceiling and the same floor, if not a safer floor, with Joe Burrow back. So T. Higgins there for me. Thank you so much for the question. It's Apple season. Good morning. Good morning. What is going on? Thank you for stopping in. Do I think Hampton is going to play? I do think that Hampton is going to play. I think that Hampton is going to be set to go. I think he was limited at practice once again. Yeah. The last note we got was that he is ramping up in practice. He's on track and looking good. There was expectations that he was going to play last week, and it was kind of a shocker that he didn't. So I definitely think that he plays. I think the matchup is tough. Going up against Philadelphia, we did just see Philadelphia get gashed on the ground with the Chicago running game. So I think that there is hope for Hampton. And honestly, if you've waited this long, if you don't have better options, if you've been kind of just piecemealing it together, I think Hampton, you can go ahead and just, if he's playing, you go ahead and plug him in, but it is a very risky plug at that point. It is a very risky play at that point. Let's see. Do I got him in my range? Where's he at in my? Let's see here. Gotta do a little. Yeah, I mean, he's listed way down in the rankings right now, down at like running back 40 range, but I think that's just because of a fear of like he might miss again. But I think that if he plays, he's not a bad option for a high ceiling dart throw. It's really not anything where you're expecting with confidence. I think that if Hampton does play, both him and Vidal become null and void. You can't start either of these guys in this matchup right now with confidence. You can start both of them and hope. Apple, you got Charbonnet and Rodriguez, so not sure if I should play a floor player or not. It really depends on the rest of your roster. If you need a high ceiling play, I would go ahead and toss Hampton out there. If not, Charbonnet and Rodriguez are your two starters. If those are your two starters, or if it's like you have to pick between Charbonnet, Rodriguez, and Hampton, I'd pick Charbonnet, honestly. I feel like floor is safer with Charbonnet and the ceiling is there with the touchdowns. Whereas with Hampton, you're just hoping that he gets enough touches to or finds the end zone. And I'm just not sure about that with how safe they've been playing it with him and how long it took him to come back. I'm not 100% sure. I would stick with Charbonnet if it's between those three. If you got to start two of those three, good luck. I would do Charbonnet and Hampton if he plays. And then you had another question here, Shakir or Myers at your flex. Jacoby Myers for me. I like the matchup for Shakir, but that Buffalo passing game is just very untrustworthy. The number one changes on a weekly basis. Even if there is a number one, sometimes it's just one. The Buffalo offense is some wide receivers are sometimes wide receiver 1, 2, 3, or wide receiver 1A, B, C, D, E, and there's no one that is emerging really. If anyone does, it typically is Shakir, but Myers seems locked in as T-Law's wide receiver 1 right now, and I like that that whole thing right there. Uh, Alex, you're stuck with Sharps as your RB2 as well, thanks to Trey Benson. Yeah. It's definitely been it's been a weird one at running back where we've had all of these rookies flash but not be able to hold any consistency. So I think Sharps isn't the worst RB2 out there. It doesn't feel good. There's definitely a lot better RB2s out there, but he's at least got touchdown upside on a weekly basis on a good offense. So good luck to you guys. Hey, Dinger, what's going on? Thank you for the super sticker, man. Appreciate you dropping that in there. Thank you for popping in. And Alex, it's a keeper league, so you can't even cut Benson. No, you cannot. You just got to hold and wait. What do I think of Vidal in a second flex spot? It is a very risky spot. I think that right now we do see a 50-50 share out of Hampton if he does play. And like I said, against this defense, I just don't think they get the run game going. And that's the only time that we've seen Vidal have success is when the Chargers are winning and they're able to run the ball 25 plus times with him. Like anytime that Vidal gets 20 plus carries, which is usually in a very handedly won game, we see Vidal perform well. But when he doesn't, when he's in that 13 to 15 carry range, we've seen just absolute duds. And that is 100% what I'm projecting on Monday night. So if you got a better option, I'm looking to pivot in that second flex spot. I'd be taking a shot on a higher upside guy because I feel like the floors of a boom bust wide receiver are very close to the floor of Kamani Vidal in week 14 right now. Good luck to you though, man. A deep sleeper is Isaac Tesla tonight. Go plug, go run and plug. If it's a running back position, that's a little bit tougher there because I mean running back is just destroyed right now. But I definitely think that Tesla is an interesting one tonight if he's available. A guy like Devon Vele is another high upside type guy. If you can look at the wide receivers a little bit there. A John Mechie, A.D. Mitchell, those types of guys, I would be taking my shot at that lotto ticket wide receiver because, like I said, the floor of a lotto ticket wide receiver compared to the floor of Kamani Vidal with Omarion Hampton, where I don't expect him to get 25 carries, I feel like those floors are very similar. I'd rather be banking on a big play than expecting the consistency here. But thank you for the question, Dinger. Thank you for dropping in. Let's see here. The place to be. Good morning. Thank you for dropping in. It is a pleasure to have you guys here. Thursday show. This is the big one. This is the big one. Fighting for them playoff spots. Dinger, anytime, man. Anytime. Thank you for stopping by. No ball Vidal. Honestly, like I said, if he's not getting the volume, he has disappointed. I have been riding that roller coaster all season, and I am having to stick with an injured Woody Marks right now over Kamani Vidal, and it does not feel good. Jay Label, good morning. We got Godwin or Devin Neal in my flex. I would go Devin Neal. The floor for Godwin is non-existent right now. And Devin Neal has a floor, and I think right now a better ceiling than Chris Godwin. We just haven't seen him come back and look like himself this year. So I think it's a lost season in total for Chris Godwin right now, unfortunately. So sticking with Devin Neal here. Derry, we got the Dolphins D or the Vikings D. I'm leaning Dolphins on that one at a first snap guess. Vikings are going up against who are the Vikings up against this? Washington. No, Mariota looked competent last week. I would stick with the Dolphins D, hoping for an absolute just fall apart game from the New York Jets. It's in New York, so that's a little bit dicier, but I think I'd stick with the Dolphins there over the Vikings D. Not too high on either, to be honest with you, though. But thank you guys for the questions. This is the beauty and the joy of the Thursday show. Like I don't even have to bring a show sheet. I got one, but I don't even need to bring it because you guys just keep bringing all the questions. You guys keep bringing all the fun. So I appreciate that for sure. Speaking of fun, as always, going to talk about Fast Draft down here. Flex 6 Frenzy is going on. The Quick 6 Super Slam still has their free rolls for new players where you get to pick your top 6 guys. Flex 6 Frenzy, you're drafting your top 6 guys. You're plugging them into your bonuses, your 2X, your 1.75, your 1.5, and your 1.25 bonuses. It's a fun format. I really like it. There's you can have the same roster as somebody, but you can change it up just a little bit with your boosters to where it creates a little bit more chaos, a little bit more of a place where you can get the joy of a little bit more randomness in there. Or if you just have like a stronger feeling about some chalky guys, you can just move them around in the boosters. And it's really been my weekly go-to with especially with the free roll in there. So definitely think that it's a fun one, especially here in week 14. We have the chalkiest of the chalk going on Thursday, so they're not eligible for the Sunday slate of the DFS. So go ahead, jump in there. If you haven't deposited yet, use code JOwensFF to get a $50 deposit match. That is 5 to 10 free rolls into contests. If you put the full $50 in, you get $100. And like I said, that's just how we do it over at Fast Draft. It's a good, fun DFS. You're not having to do salaries. You're not having to plug into a bot and have it spit out a recommendation for you and just follow that to a T and just sit there mindlessly droning on with that. You get to go ahead and mix things up. You get to add your own little zest to it. So go ahead, jump in there to the Quick Six Super Slam. Again, there's a free contest every week for some promo cash. And if you haven't deposited yet, code JOwensFF gets you a $50 deposit match. To talk a little bit more on that Quick Six Super Slam, I'm going to pass it over to the Podfather.
Pour one out for an incredible best ball season. It was a breakout 2025 for Fast Draft, but now the NFL action has started. That means it's DFS season. That's right. You might think, oh, wow, DFS, I can't win DFS. Oh, but you can on Fast Draft. You just pick any 6 guys, and you put them in a handful of booster spots. There's no salary rubric you have to follow. You're not going up against thousands of killer bots in these tournaments. Oh, no. These are regular people grabbing their 6 favorite plays of the week, and that's all you have to do. And we post the ownership so that you can choose how much chalk you want. There is no drafting. It's called the Quick Six Super Slam. The Quick Six Super Slam is the signature DFS contest at Fast Draft. It is changing DFS. We are making DFS great again. So go to fastdraft.app and use your host promo code for a $50 deposit match. And let's go start drafting faster.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love the Quick Six Super Slam. Like I said, man, it's a good time. It's a good little shakeup on DFS. I've been exclusively Fast Draft for the DFS this year. I always kind of sprinkled all around with some DraftKings, some FanDuel, some Underdog in there, but this year it has all been Fast Draft, and it's been fun. I enjoy it. So go ahead, like I said, jump in, use code JOwensFF for a $50 deposit match on your first deposit. Let's go ahead and jump right into the starts and sits of the weeks, but I am going to go ahead and just flip this banner here, and then we're going to come back. We got Jay Label asking, will Tom Kennedy get some receptions tonight? Yes, he will. Will it matter for fantasy football? No, it will not. If Amon-Ra does not play, I definitely think that he is like the deepest of deep leagues type of guy that you can plug in and hope for some PPR floor out of. But I am not looking for Tom Kennedy to be anything substantial in terms of fantasy football, especially with the fact that they are holding out hope for Amon-Ra St. Brown to be a game time decision play. So no, if I am going to pivot to a Detroit Lions wide receiver outside of Jameson Williams, it's going to be Isaac Tesla for the big boom. And again, 92% of the snaps, 90+% of the routes run. That's where I would be going. Or if you have to start Tom Kennedy, you are in true dire straits because there's got to be someone out there. You need 7 PPR points from him. I wouldn't trust it. I would be very, very worried about that. You would be sweating because in the entire game last year, unless you get some kickoff return points, because he is with no why can't I think of his name? Oh my God. He's also doing the kick and punt returns right now. So if you get those types of those points, sure, go ahead and toss him in and hope that you get a little bit of everything. But if it's 7 PPR straight up points from him, I am very concerned about that, and I would look elsewhere. Let's see. Place to be. You have a playoff team, Superflex, starting Tua and Cam. Oof. Getting me like 12 points combined a week, and you can't even get a Jacoby, Tyrod, Shuck to just be a sub to get through. Feels like it will be an early exit. That is pretty tough there. Those are 2 very impossible quarterbacks to trust, especially because Tennessee's got I feel like, is it Tennessee that has the tougher schedule moving forward here? I know one of these 2 guys has a schedule where I'm like, wow, this is like bad already, and I'm already like, I don't even want to touch it anymore. But yeah, good luck to you there, man. Hopefully you got something that you can just kind of put forward a little bit, like San Francisco KC. Yeah, no, it was definitely Cam Ward. Cam Ward's got a terrible schedule moving forward, so apologies there. Hopefully, you got someone that you could plug into a super flex that might be better. Tua's got some solid matchups coming up to the playoffs though, so at least Tua might be able to help you out a little bit. But if you can pivot off of Cam and go to anyone else, like a skill position player, that might be the better move because Cam's got a tough stretch coming up here. Derry, good morning. Welcome in. We got some questions here. We got Bam or Kyle Manangai. I'm going Manangai all day. He is in a true 50-50 split with Swift, and he's been getting a lot more of the goal line success compared to Swift. I know that both have scored touchdowns in recent weeks. And I know that the matchup, Green Bay's matchup isn't as scary. I was scared off of Philadelphia last week with the Chicago running backs, and I'm not making that mistake twice. I do think that Green Bay's run defense is good, but I think that the Chicago running game is better right now. So I would be sticking with Manangai. I think he's got the floor and the ceiling. And Bam doesn't even have a good matchup either. Ladd, Michael Wilson, and Christian Watson in the flex. I like those three for the flex. Ladd makes me a little bit nervous, but depending on who else, or is this a question for pick one for flex? If it is, it's very much up in the air right now. Christian Watson's probably the safest. Michael Wilson would be the safest if Marvin Harrison doesn't play, and Ladd is just terrifying altogether, with or without Justin Herbert. But I don't know, man. That's a real tough one. If I have to pick one of these three, I apologize. I would say Christian Watson just off the rip right now, just because he's got the safest situation going for him right now. Going to go ahead and jump into my own starts and sits, and please continue to keep the questions flowing. Do not feel like you need to stop for me here. Just keep it rolling. And we're going to start with the QB start of the week. And for me, it is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence right now is listed as the QB 16 on the week. And I get it. He hasn't been great, but he's been pretty solid lately. Ever since he got Jacoby Myers, he's been looking better. And I think that this is a matchup and a must-win game for Jacksonville, where they're going to need Trevor Lawrence to put it together. And while it is a home game, and while I do think that the run game will have success as well, I think that it's going to need to come from Trevor to finish it off. We saw him put up in the past three weeks top 12 QB numbers, with over 20 fantasy points in the past 2 weeks, with a total of 6 touchdowns over those 3 weeks. So he's averaging 2 touchdowns a week. Again, Jacoby Myers comes and he just provides that stability and that trustworthy type of possession receiver that Trevor Lawrence thrives off of. Trevor needs that guy who is going to be consistently open, and that has not been Brian Thomas. We saw it with Parker Washington for those couple of weeks, where it was just a consistent target who was always open. Jacoby comes in and he is better than Parker Washington by a lot. That's just always been Jacoby's role. And he's really helping out Trevor Lawrence with his first read with his first 3 throws and with everything else. So I think that in a must-win game, and also on the flip side, there's no Sauce Gardner for Indianapolis right now. So it opens up an even greater possibility here for Trevor Lawrence. The pass rush is solid from Indy, but the defense is just not scaring me off right now. So I'm sticking with Trevor Lawrence this week. He's a fringy start according to the Fantasy Pros consensus rankings, but I say that he should be in your top 12 once again for the 3rd week in a row. I think that he's going to go ahead and deliver, and he's still got the rushing upside. Like he's not Drake May level of rushing. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Jalen Hurts. He's not adding that, but he's consistently adding 25 to 30 yards a week, and he does have the potential to run one in the goal line area. So definitely think that Trevor Lawrence is a great start this week against Indianapolis. There's some questionable guys that I would put him over, like Daniel Jones in the same game, maybe even like a Bo Nix. Like there's a couple guys that I would bump him up over in terms of the rankings. For my QB sit of the week, I'm all over the place. QB sit. I have someone that I'm a little bit shocked myself that I put here. Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett has me a little bit worried this week, and for no fault of his own. The dude's been doing nothing but delivering 100%. Like, this isn't anything saying that Brissett hasn't been playing well or that he can't perform against even tough defenses, because he put up almost 20 points against Seattle. He put up 20 plus points against San Francisco. He put up almost 20 points against Tampa. He's been consistent. He has been consistent against every type of defense out there, good, bad, indifferent. But my only fear is this Rams defense is very good. This Rams defense is coming off of a loss in the trap game against the Carolina Panthers. And I am just afraid that with the uncertainty of game plan, with Marvin Harrison Jr. maybe in, maybe out, Greg Dortch maybe in, maybe out, no Trey Benson, just no, like, I get it. Jacoby's been doing it without those weapons around him already and still delivering. But I just feel like this game just has a different feel to me. And I am a little bit scared off right now. I know that he has Trey McBride, his number one, the best option on this team, is going to get fed and he's going to be fine. But I just fear that the ceiling is going to evaporate quickly for us here with Jacoby. He's been able to have time in the pocket. He's been able to throw, like, take his time. He's number 6 of all QBs right now in average time to throw, with just under 3 seconds. He's been able to get it done really with the supporting cast around him. He's top 12 in supporting cast efficiency according to Player Profiler. But he's only got 2 money throws on the season, a 0.2% money throw rate. He's only at a 7.9% pressured throw rate. So he hasn't really faced a ton of pressure like some other quarterbacks. And I just feel that it's going to happen this week, where he's going to get the pressure, and it's just going to be a little bit of the pumpkin's going to start to show. It's not going to be a full pumpkin. I don't think he's going to just disappear, but QB 10 on the week just feels a little bit too much for me this week, especially, like I said, with the uncertainty across the entire offense, with the tough matchup. I might be looking to pivot off of Jacoby Brissett this week, but it's so hard to. There's really, like, I'm looking at the rankings. This isn't one of my, like, you have to sit him type guys, like, look to panic and pivot. I just think you have to temper the expectations a little bit, because there's not really anyone out there on the waiver wire that's going to be in his range. Alex, don't say that. You got him starting for Drake May this week. Brissett or Tyrod? I would still stick with Brissett. Again, this isn't a full, like, bench fade run away. I think it's more of just a be aware that the ceilings. I don't feel like it's going to be there this week. I don't think we're going to get the 18 to 20 points. I think we're going to be stuck more in that QB 15, QB 16 range of 13 to 15 points, 13 to 16 points from your quarterback. So it's not going to, I don't think he's going to kill you, but I don't think he's going to be providing that top 12 finish that he's been providing on a weekly basis. So don't panic pivot. Or CJ Stroud. No. I would stick with Brissett. I would stick with Brissett in your situation there. MV Prof, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. You made it for the start sits. Yes, you did. I do got to scroll back up here, guys. I promise I did not forget about you all. We got here Franz. Good morning. Good morning. Would I start Lamar or T-Law in a must-win spot to make the playoffs? It's 6-point passing, but 0.5 per rush attempt. Oh, that feels gross. If you need a floor, I might go T-Law out of those two. It's insane to say. I don't want to say it, but Lamar has been struggling. And it's not like you say 0.5 point per rush, but Lamar hasn't even been running that much. Like, it's not even like he's been able to, like, he's just been struggling in one phase of the game. He's been struggling across the board. He does have 6-7 rush attempts in the past 2 weeks. He's been up. I'm stick with Lamar. I can't sit here and tell you in good conscience to start T-Law. I think that Lamar, this is a good spot to have a bounce back game. He needs to have a bounce back game for the Baltimore Ravens in general. But I think that base of the extra 6, 7, 9, like, the rush attempts are there enough to where you can go ahead and stick with him. But I'm not 100% confident that Lamar tops Trevor Lawrence this week. Like, I really don't. It's a tough one. It's tough to go away from Lamar, but he's been so bad that it's a very true toss up for me, especially with the 6-point passing. God damn it! I think I might actually just stick with Lamar. I'm waffling on you. I'm sorry. I'm literally like ping ponging this in my head as I go. So I might go T-Law. If it was me, I would probably go T-Law. I wouldn't feel good about it, and I would hate myself if Lamar blows up. So just know that this is not a confidence play. This is not me saying like you have to do this. Go with your gut on this one because it is a true like it's the grossest toss up in my mind right now with that 6-point adder in there. I still probably stick with Lamar at home though, but I told you I'm flip flopping right now on you. I got no good answer, especially in a must win. But if you need the ceiling, I'd probably go with Trevor. Whisper, whisper, whisper. I'm just gonna move on because I can't waffle on this anymore. I'm sorry, friends. That was rough for me too. KJ, good morning, good morning. Better flex start. We got Michael with Wilson, Christian Watson, or Vidal in a full PPR. Vidal's out of the question for me right now. I know Philadelphia just let Chicago run all over them, but I don't see it happening 2 times in a row. If Marvin Harrison Jr. does not play, Michael Wilson all day. If Marvin Harrison Jr. does play, I probably pivot to Christian Watson in that scenario because both guys are getting solid targets, but Michael Wilson with 18 targets in Marvin Harrison Jr.'s absence, much better for me there. Suresh, good morning. Good morning. You need a flex and a wide receiver in half PPR. You got Sutton, Jacoby, Igbuka, and Charbonnet. I think Jacoby's locked in for me. 100% as the wide receiver. I think he's just more trustworthy than Sutton right now. And honestly, the ceiling on Sutton isn't really even there. We haven't seen it. So I'm sticking with Jacoby. And I would go with Emeka Egbuka. I know it's been a little bit rough the past couple weeks. I know that Tampa Bay has just looked rough in general. But I trust the talent. I trust the quarterback a lot more. And really, they're fighting for their life right now in the NFC South. So I do believe that they need a win here, and I think that they need to get back to Igbuka being a big target for them. So Jacoby and Igbuka for me there. And KJ, coming back to you here, you got a better QB start. We got Bo Nix or JD5 if he plays full PPR. I don't think PPR really factors into that for these two. I would stick with Bo Nix. I like the matchup better for Washington, but I am sticking with Bo Nix because that injury was terrifying. I feel like he's not going to run as much if Daniels does come back and play. So I would stick with Bo and his erratic play all around. Let's see here. Scrolling back down. MV Prof, thank you for backing me up a little bit here with with Tila. I was very much struggling on that one. So friends, I apologize. But yeah, Tila definitely does have that. With Jacoby Myers there, the vibes are kind of coming back. And Brian Thomas is coming back. I get it. Brian Thomas has been disappointing, but he's better than wide receiver 3, 4, 5 on this Jacksonville Jaguars team. So I think that T-Law is a solid option. I think that he's going to sneak into the top 12 once again. He hasn't been lighting the world on fire, but he's been doing good enough, especially like week 13 was a full slate, no buys. So I definitely think that he's someone that you can sneak in there. Over Lamar is where it gets tough. Alex, coming back to you here. We got Brissett or Mariota. I would stick with Brissett's safer, in my opinion, but God damn it, guys. You guys are making me sweat here on this one. You guys are really, really making me sweat here. I would stick with Brissett. I'm more worried about him, but I think his floor is still higher than Mariota's. I think Mariota's ceiling is going to be more easily achievable this week. But I still got to stick with Brissett. My sit for him is more of a be cautious and be ready to not get a top 10 play out of him. But again, I think he's gonna slot right into that middle QB. He might even sneak into QB 12 to QB 15, QB 16 range for Brissett. So that's where I would have him ranked in my tiers. I still got him above Mariota just for floor safety. We know that Brissett's going to chuck the ball a million times. How well the LA Rams defended is the thing we don't know here. This is actually hilarious. JJ McCarthy, 9. No, I will not be going to him. I do think that he has a good week this week, but I am not trusting that because the floor is 0. The floor is lava with that one. So sticking with Brissett still. Let's see here. Oh, we still got trade questions popping. Oh, Dynasty. That makes sense. Would I trade Puka for Judkins and a top 6 first-round pick in Dynasty? I think I'd want more for Puka, to be honest with you. Paul, good morning, by the way. I didn't even say good morning, just reading the question. But good morning, Paul. I think I would want a little bit more for Puka. I think that Puka is still elite, but if you're worried about Stafford retiring after this year, I could see you go ahead and just pivoting off and going with the top 6 pick. If you're going for a rebuild, sure, go for it. I think Puka's got some staying power, but Judkins is a great young rookie running back, and a top 6 pick is a top 6 pick who could turn into another great wide receiver, another great running back. It's just you're getting more risk with that where you know what you have with Puka. So I would try to get some more out of it, to be honest with you. With Puka, it's not like he's fallen off a cliff. It's not like he's retiring. It's not like he's old. It's just the quarterback situation is getting a little bit murky, but I'm sticking with the talent in Dynasty as always. I'm going to go ahead and flip back to my starts and sits. RB start of the week is, wow, struggling with the keyboard, Blake Corum. I think that Blake Corum is going to be startable with or without Kyren. Again, Kyren looking like he's going to play, but I am buying into what the team is saying, where they want to keep him a little bit fresh for the playoffs. This is a team that I don't think they expected their window to be as open as it was with the Stafford uncertainty at the beginning of the season. And now that they're here, they're going to want to make sure that they can make the biggest push possible. And that's by keeping Kyren healthy. And I do think that Corum can come in and he can be a full-time guy if Kyren does get injured. And I think that he can be a good primary split type guy if they are truly trying to keep Kyren healthy and keep him limited in reps on and limited touches in games. And this game just screams to me like it's going to be a Blake Corum game. I think that, again, the Rams fell to the trap game last week. They're not locked in for the first round bye. They're not locked in for the NFC West. They are not locked into anything right now. They are still having to play for a playoff spot right now. They're in a good position, but they're not locked into anything. So I do think that we see them come out. I do think we see them come and stomp on the Arizona Cardinals quite a bit. And I think that the second half, we're going to see a lot of Blake Corum out there. It might not be early. You might be sweating the first half, but I think that by the second half, if there is a handy lead for the LA Rams, we see Blake Corum kind of take it home. We saw him perform well last week on limited touches when Kyren was in and out with the ankle injury. So I think that we can definitely see in a plus matchup, we can see even on not a full like 60+% of snaps or opportunities from Corum. I think if he gets 40%, he is going to be a usable RB3, RB2 upside type player with the juicy matchup. So if you are struggling at the running back position, look to Blake Corum. I like him this week. I think that he is a solid guy. That he's kind of becoming one of those handcuff plus type guys as we come down the stretch right now. Ray Gamer, Lamar or Burrow in 6 points per TD. Right now you have Burrow in, and you would play. That's a separate question. So first question, Lamar or Burrow in 6 points per TD. Burrow easy for me. We just talked about, I was waffling on Trevor Lawrence over Lamar Jackson. So I love Lamar. I think he's struggling right now, and I need to see it before I come back to him. So I'm sticking with Burrow here. That's an easy smash for me. And then we got 2 in non-PPR. Interesting. You got Rice at wide receiver 1. Right now you have Jefferson and Sutton in, but we have Jefferson, Sutton, Igbuka, Brian Thomas. I'd probably go Jefferson, Igbuka. I would put him over Sutton, Igbuka. I know Igbuka, again, has been struggling. I talked about it a couple minutes ago, but I think that Tampa Bay is in must-win territory, and I think that the New Orleans defense is good, but they're not good enough to throw off Baker as much as he has been. I want to see I do believe that we see Baker start to come back to Igbuka more and more as they need to start stringing together some wins here to fend off the Carolina Panthers. So I think Igbuka and Sutton are very similar right now, and I just trust the higher ceiling of Igbuka this week. Yeah. So thank you for the questions, guys. Thank you. Going to keep it rolling here. Going to keep it rolling because I do not have as much time as usual today. Running back sit. I feel like I say that every show, but it's becoming more and more true. Jaylen Warren is my running back sit of the week. I talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers falling apart when I talked about Aaron Rodgers' injury, and they are truly falling apart from the top down. We are seeing Mike Tomlin fired chance. We're seeing Aaron Rodgers call out teammates not going to film sessions in pressers. We're seeing Jaylen Warren himself fall apart here, and Kenneth Gainwell just be a true 50-50 split with him as of the past, 2-3 weeks. It is getting to become more and more worrisome. I know, Alex, if you're still in here, you called this. You called this when I said that Jaylen Warren was going to be fine. You called this when I said that Jaylen Warren was a trade target, and I said, what are you talking about here? And guess what? You were right. I was wrong. My bad. But Jaylen Warren is definitely someone who right now is listed as the what is he? What do I have in my notes here? He is listed as the running back 19 in the rankings for week 14, and that feels insane. I truly don't understand that one here. They're going up against Baltimore, who has been pretty solid on the defensive side as of late. I know they've kind of gone wishy-washy on where they're strong and where they're weak, but in a game in Baltimore, in a game where the offense on a team where the offense has been just absent, the offense has been non-existent. It's very much a concern. And again, the snap shares are just, he was at one point up at 80%. And when he had a firm hold on the opportunities, he was up at 60+%. He has been ticking down, even without the injuries, he's ticking down to 50, 55. And the opportunities are just getting more and more split here between Warren and Gainwell. So it's the ultimate combination of touch competition with Gainwell, bad, slow offense that's not running that many plays with the Pittsburgh Steelers, an injured old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, coach turmoil on and off the field. Like, there's just so much going on with Pittsburgh right now that I don't trust any of them. I don't trust Warren. I don't trust Gainwell. I don't trust Metcalf. I don't trust any of these three tight ends. I do not trust a single Pittsburgh Steeler from here on out. I do not care about what the matchup is. I do not trust them. I do not trust them with green eggs and ham. So they are a full fade for me the rest of the season. And Jaylen Warren at running back 19 is just egregious to me. It's not like he even has the volume to back that up. So the easiest of fades on my start sit show this week, but still someone that I feel like I have to say because he's on Fantasy Pros consensus ranked at RB 19. No. I'd rather start like a Charbonnet over him. There's a ton of guys on my list that I would rather start. I'd rather start David Montgomery, Jordan Mason. I don't like Jordan Mason. I'd rather start Jordan Mason. Kareem Hunt, Woody Marks, Kyle Monangai, DeAndre Swift. Easy. David Montgomery, I'd even start over him. Where you start to get me hard pressed would be like Bam Knight. Just because I feel like volume matchup similar, but I do not trust Jaylen Warren this week. I think he is the clearest sit of all in the top 24 running backs. Going to keep it rolling here. We got the wide receiver start of the week. We got Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce right now is listed as the wide receiver 27 on Fantasy Pros. Michael Pittman is listed as the wide receiver 21. And I think we need to flip-flop that. I think we need to go ahead and Pierce needs to be above Pittman consistently. Pierce is running more routes. Pierce is on the field more. Pierce is getting more targets on a consistent basis. I think that the takeover has officially happened. I think that Alec Pierce is the number one wide receiver in this Indianapolis pass catching room. I think that he's the number one target. I mean, the dude's been nothing but consistent as of late. And I think that we just see it continue here. This is a must win for the Indianapolis Colts. Another must win here. And I mean, yeah, Pierce had the tough game against Kansas City, but Kansas City will do that. Before that, 7 targets against Atlanta, 13 against Pittsburgh, 10 against the Chargers. He's consistently just leading the team in targets. And he's always, like I said, he's always on the field. He's above 90% for the past 4 weeks in snap share. And And in the routes run, he's just like he's always on the field. It's him and Pittman, and then they sprinkle in the Josh Downs, who might be missing this week. So it's just an even bigger reason to keep Pierce locked and loaded. He's at 92% route participation on the year, 100% for the past 3 weeks. So the dude is just it. He's mixing the big ADOT with number 2 ADOT in the entire, out of all the wide receivers out there right now, 19.9 ADOT, number 2, 47.4% air yard share, wide receiver 4, top 10 in deep targets, number 1 in deep target share. So when the team is taking its shots, which I think they're going to have to in Jacksonville in a must-win game with an injured Daniel Jones, they're going to have to take their deep shots. And it's always been Pierce, and he's getting the floor mixed with the ceiling that we haven't seen. And I truly think we're seeing the takeover happen, and that we need to start flip-flopping Pittman and Pierce in the rankings starting with this week. And then to flip over to the wide receiver sit of the week. This one feels very easy as well, and it kind of pairs in nicely with the Lamar Jackson conversations we had. My sit of the week is Zay Flowers. He's another guy where I looked at his consensus ranking, and I'm like, what in the world are we doing? He is wide receiver 18 right now, and I get it. The dude is consistent. He will give you 10 to 12 points on a weekly basis. But that's not who I'm putting up at my wide receiver 18. He needs to be lower. He is someone that I'm not looking to start this week while Lamar's struggles continue. He is definitely someone that I would need to see something from in order to feel confident in plugging him back into my top 24 once again. And I just don't have it right now. I would rather start Pierce. I would rather start Jacoby Myers. I would rather start Michael Wilson, Terry McLaurin even. These guys that are getting the consistency, because Zay Flowers, the whole thing with Zay Flowers has always been his upside has been capped by the fact that he doesn't score touchdowns. The upside is now extra capped. It's capped, like it's already capped with the lack of touchdowns. And now we're saying that Lamar is struggling as a passer due to injury. I'm not going to sit here and say that Lamar is just bad right now, but due to like his passing has declined ever since coming back from the injury in good matchups. And we're going to sit here and say that Zay Flowers is still a top 20 wide receiver? No. The ceiling is all the way capped. He is nothing but a pure, safe 10-point floor play. And so I am firmly looking to place him on my bench and start a lot of guys over him. If I need a big ceiling play, I'd even start a guy like Adonai Mitchell over Zay Flowers, because there is no ceiling with Zay Flowers. It breaks my heart. Another guy that I said to trade for because I thought that he could get you to the playoffs. And I mean, to be fair, he hasn't killed you. He's not, there's no boom. There's no boom. We need boom at this point. So if you need the boom, A.D. Mitchell would be a better option, in my opinion. Deebo Samuel. I'd even start Khalil Shakir over him, who is questionable boom. MV Prof, he was the ultimate sell after week 1. I 100% agree. I was still out on Zay Flowers after week 1. I bought back in because I thought that there would be, when Lamar came back, I thought that there would be something more than what we had seen with the fill-in quarterbacks, and there just wasn't. There was not. So I was a big time seller on week 1, and then I was buying back in about halfway through the season when Lamar was coming back, and then that just has not panned out. So tried to buy back in, and it just it fully bottomed out on me. So it happens. Franz, would I trade Marvin Harrison Jr. for Devontae Adams in Dynasty? If you're trying to win the ship this year, you can definitely get more for that. There's no way that you should just have to settle for Devontae Adams by himself for Marvin Harrison Jr. I would try to make a move to acquire Devontae Adams plus pieces. So definitely would try to do that. Where I'm getting Devontae Adams, but again, not just trying to do a straight up 1-for-1. That would be detrimental to your team. If you're going to try to get some picks or some other guys tossed in there, not just straight up. But respect the move. I respect the move. Or if you can trade a pick for Devontae Adams, I would rather do that, because I think Marvin's going to be fine. In my opinion, I don't think he's gonna fully bottom out. He's going to be a consistent guy. Adams should have a big week. Yes. We got here Eric. Good morning, Eric. We got Mariota, Shuck, or McCarthy. Ooh, this is a true gross and grubby question, but I love it. I would probably go Mariota. I like Mariota's ability to where he can still run the ball. And we've seen him with this cavalcade of running backs with no clear starter. We've seen him run in some touchdowns. We've seen him. He still has the mobility factor. And I like the matchup for him here. I do think that Shuck is an interesting name as well. And I do think that JJ McCarthy has the capability and needs to save his career against Minnesota this week. But if I had to pick one to trust for my fantasy lineup in week 14, it would be Marcus Mariota for sure. And then we're flipping down here. You got another one for me here. Gadsden, Fannin, or Likely? And I hate this question because I am struggling mightily with Gadsden this week on what to do with him. I truly don't. I probably lean Fannin just because I think that he's got a safer floor. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I Likely had the good week last week, but every tight end has the good week against Cincinnati. So I'm not chasing that dragon right now. It's between Gadsden and Fannin out of these two for me. And I lean Fannin for safety. If you need the high ceiling, I would go with Gadsden. I think that LA is going to have to throw the ball more, but you're also just risking that Herbert doesn't play and Trey Lance doesn't look Gadsden's way. So if you need safety, if you need floor, Fannin, if you want the big playmaker opportunity, I would go with Gadsden on a team that I think would throw the ball more than Cleveland. Place to be. What do you think about me trading Noel, a second and a third for Rodgers and Worthy? Aaron Rodgers? I mean, I don't think either of those guys help you win a ship. Am I thinking of, is there a Rodgers that I'm missing? Am I missing a Rodgers? Because I would definitely not do that at all. At all. I don't think Aaron Rodgers helps you win a championship. I don't think Xavier Worthy does anything for you this year that is difference making. So I would not be selling my future. It is Aaron. Yeah, I would not be selling my future with a good, promising young slot guy in Jalen Noel, a second and a third for Aaron Rodgers and Worthy. Those guys are mid-level plugs at best. If you're having to rely on those guys to bring you to a championship, I would just roll the dice with what you got and hope that you make it. But I wouldn't be making that move, no. Alex, you might start JJ over Brissett. You like the Briss. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I think the ceiling's better for JJ McCarthy, but that's crazy. A-Wines, we got Olave, Waddle, or Rice. You need to start two. Rice and Waddle for me. Pretty easy there. I do like Olave. It would be a little bit of a toss-up between Olave and Waddle for me if Olave plays, but the fact that Olave is dealing with the injury, with the back injury of all types of injuries, I would just stick with Waddle and Rice regardless. Let's see here. I did my wide receivers. I need to do my tight end start. And my tight end start of the week is going to be Darren Waller. Darren Waller right now is listed as the tight end 13, so he's fringy, but for all of us struggling tight end people, you should go ahead and just run him out there. We saw him ramp up really quickly when he first rejoined the team after retirement, and I'm expecting the same thing here. He already jumped back in and had a 45% target share, not target share, but a 40-something percent upper snap share. Goodness gracious. Let's just start this Darren Waller takeover again. Darren Waller, for you tight end struggling people, he is a very good option in my opinion. This week, once again, he ramped up very quickly once he returned from retirement, and I fully expect a similar situation here. He was in on 46% of the snaps and was running 70% of the routes, which at his peak when he was when he was running the most routes was at 74%. So they did not slowly bring him back in. 46% of the snaps makes you think maybe not, but I think that he's going to be perfectly fine here. Just getting a full complement of snaps and opportunities. He did have 3 targets with 2 catches for 47 yards on the week. So he led the Miami Dolphins pass catchers, but it was kind of just one of those slow run-centric games. Against the New York Jets here, I do expect a little bit more passing, and we have seen with Tua that he can still support Waddle and Waller, but that's about it. And A-Chain, obviously. But A-Chain kind of just does it for himself. But I am fully fine going back to Darren Waller if you scooped him back up. Did not put that out there. But yeah, so go back to Darren Waller. Stick with that here. Alex, is that my espresso shot? No, it is not my espresso shot. JJ McCarthy is not my espresso shot. No. Maybe it should be. You know what? I might just pivot on the fly here. It might be. We'll get to that later. Eric, Devon Vele or Jaden Reed rest of season. Reed is better, but Packers spread the ball, and Olave might have the back problems. Oof, this feels rough. I like the ceiling a lot on Jaden Reed, but we still don't know when he's going to come back fully. And like you said, Jordan Love spreads the ball around a lot. That's been my concern with Christian Watson. Once we do get a Jaden Reed back, I would probably still stick with Reed for just offense and ceiling. But I think that Vele probably has a safer floor than Reed. So if you just need a plug, a stopgap injury plug, you could stick with Devon Vele because we know the Saints went out and traded for him. He just had the big blow up game. I'm not looking for that to continue, but if Olave does miss, I think that Vele is a very big piece of that offense because there's nothing left here. Stressy, good morning. Would I rather start AD Mitchell, Troy Franklin, Jaden Higgins, or Brian Thomas in a flex spot this week? Ooh. Who is Houston playing? I haven't even looked at them. KC. Woof. I'd probably go AD Mitchell. I know it sounds like I'm chasing the dragon on that one. Jaden Higgins probably safer. Yeah. But I think AD Mitchell's got the big ceiling. I think that the breakout game happened, and I would hate to miss it again against the Miami Dolphins at home with for the New York Jets. So I probably stick with AD there. Appreciate the question. Yeah, no, I'm on the same page as you there. Fantasy Condo, good morning. Sipping coffee. I don't got the coffee on the table right now. I'm sorry. Crazy morning. But I hope you're enjoying your cup there. And then we're going to go here. We got tight end sit. I'm trying to get out of here in the next 10 minutes, guys. Tight end sit is going to be a fan favorite, Kyle Pitts. Right now ranked as the tight end 7, and I get it. He had the targets last week, but just fool me 1,555 times. I can't have him ranked this high. I can't do it. I would rather go with an Andrews, a Juwan Johnson, Harold Fannin, Orlando Gadsden, Zach Ertz, Darren Waller. All these guys I would probably trust more than Kyle Pitts. Can Kyle Pitts score the same as these guys? Yes. Can Kyle Pitts score more than them? I don't trust it. I understand that there is just nothing left in Atlanta. We're looking at Mooney. We're looking at David Sills. And Kyle Pitts is a nice shiny name at the top, and he had the good week last week. But we've seen this time and time again, and I'm not diving headfirst into this kiddie pool. It's not happening. I'm fading Kyle Pitts this week. Don't care what last week said. I do not care. Can't do it. Brandon, good morning. Who should I start? Pittman, Watson, AD Mitchell, or Terry McLaurin? I like Terry this week. I like Terry a lot this week after what we saw out of him last week with I haven't heard or seen anything about him re-aggravating the injury like he did last time. And Mariota was locked in on Terry, and the matchup does not scare me off at all. So I'm sticking with Terry out of these 4. Thank you for the question. I'm going to go ahead and get to the final ones down here. I know tight end was very, very thin there, but I mean, tight end's thin in general. For my defense and special teams start, I've spent a good portion of this show shitting on this team from a just overall standpoint, but I think the defense is still very good. I still think that the pass rush is still very good. So I am starting the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this week. Where are they ranked once again? They are ranked as the defense and special teams number 14. And I get that. It's Lamar. It's Derrick Henry. But what I think is missing here is that Lamar has been taking sacks consistently. Lamar is not as mobile as he normally is. He's been slowly getting it back, but he is still clearly dealing with some hamstring issue. And he has been taking sacks. This offensive line hasn't been helping him out as much as they have in years past. And he's not able to help himself as much. And again, this pass rush is the focal point for me of this defense. And again, this is more hoping for a ceiling. This isn't a safe play, but I think that it's very much in the realm of outcomes that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a top 12 defense on the week because they sack Lamar Jackson so many times. So that's my basis right there. That's what I'm sticking with. I'm going to go ahead and pop back over to you guys over here before we get to the final two takes. We got Eric once again, start Pittman, Sutton, or BTJ. I probably go Pittman. I think Pittman's still a safe play. I know he had the dud last week, but with Josh Downs trending towards not playing, I would stick with Pittman. I like both Pittman and Pierce this week, but I think that Pierce just needs to be ranked higher. MV prop, we got BTJ or Rome versus Green Bay. Wow, this is two very struggling wide receivers right now. I probably go BTJ. I think that the focal point right now for Jacksonville is going to shift towards the passing game, and I think BTJ in a more complementary role will be able to perform a little bit more. He's still kind of ramping up, so it is very risky still, but what we've seen out of Rome has been just non-existent. Like, this passing game in Chicago has been brutal, and even when they are performing well, it's not always to Rome. So I'd rather go with the clear number 2 in targets on a consistent basis with BTJ this week. Oh, you needed to start. Oh, sit one. Sorry, Eric, did not count that there. I would sit BTJ out of these three. I like Sutton's safety a little bit more. I know I just talked about BTJ over Rome, but I think that Sutton is just a little bit of a safer play in terms of that. So I would go there. Wow, I got Sutton over Rome this week. Look at me shifting my rankings around on the fly. And then, yeah, JD5 likely sits. I'm imagining him to sit. I would be very disappointed in the Washington Commanders if they trotted him out there off of that gruesome injury. I know that he wants to play. I know he wants to compete, but he's got a long career ahead of him if he takes care of himself. And it's not like they're playing for a whole lot right now, so I hope he sits. Last sit that I got here is going to be the Washington Commanders. Very topical. Thank you, guys. I'm sitting the Washington Commanders. I know that they're going up against 9, and that's been just great for fantasy defenses because he likes to just chuck up the prayer ball. And Justin Jefferson is just kind of not giving a fuck about it right now. So I think that people are like, oh yes, Washington is going to be a good start, and they could get the turnovers enough to make it possible. But they're ranked right now at the defense number 9, and I don't trust that because this defense has been bad. This defense has been letting everybody do whatever they want. The Lions put up ridiculous video game numbers against them a few weeks back, and obviously Minnesota and JJ McCarthy are not the Detroit Lions at full strength. But I do think that JJ McCarthy is playing for his life. They still have Justin Jefferson. They still have Jordan Addison. They still have TJ Hawkinson. Jordan Mason can still run against this defense that has been very susceptible to the run. So I think that the defense play here is a risky one if you're going to go with them. I think you're just banking on turnovers, and that is a little bit scary. So I'm looking to sit them. I would rather play the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Washington Commanders defense this week. Jacob, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. We got a 2 QB league. We got Goff, Lamar, Stafford, or Baker. Goff and Stafford for me this week. Pretty easy. I like those. I like that quarterback room. That's pretty sexy. So that's it. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip to it, but Alex, you convinced me. I was going to go with something that wasn't as exciting. I was going to say AD Mitchell, top 15 wide receiver. That feels overplayed. JJ McCarthy is going to be a usable quarterback this week against the Washington Commanders. Where do I put him at? I can't say top 12. I already have Trevor Lawrence sneaking in there at 12. I'm going to say that JJ McCarthy is a top 15 quarterback this week. I know that feels very lackluster for an espresso shot. Fuck it. JJ McCarthy, top 12 quarterback on the week. We're going. Jamie, good morning. Welcome in. You just missed me flip on the fly on my espresso shot. I was going to go AD Mitchell, top 15 wide receiver, but Alex had me pivot here, and I'm saying JJ McCarthy, top 12 quarterback on the week. He's going to get it done with the legs. He's going to hit Justin Jefferson. It's going to be a JJ to JJ-ception all over the place, and I'm going to go with JJ McCarthy as my espresso shot. Super ceiling, crazy, high play, top 12. Alex, no, I do not think that you should go JJ over Brissett unless you really need the ceiling, in which case, like, damn it, man, don't do this. Don't make me say it. Don't make me put this on camera. I still got Brissett on a median ranking projection higher than JJ McCarthy. He is the safer play. Stick with Brissett. Don't do this to me. Don't make me. I know I hit the likely call for you last week. Don't make me don't force me into a JJ McCarthy over Brissett call. I can't do it. But that is all that I got for you today, guys. Good luck for all of your teams that are fighting for the playoffs. Good luck in the playoffs. We will be doing our playoff prep next week. It's going to be a fun one. We're getting into the nitty gritty here. Thank you guys as always. Be sure to subscribe to the Player Profiler Now YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow them over on Twitter as well. And make sure that you go ahead and like this video, like all of the videos that you enjoy watching, because it helps us keep doing what we're doing. And also follow me over at jowens_ff on Twitter. I post my rankings there on a weekly basis, and I post my random thoughts there as well. I will catch you guys on Tuesday. Good luck in the week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to playerprofiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.